Hello students. So in the last lecture we had seen how the packages can be created and they can be imported. In today's lecture we shall understand the concept of public, private and protected with respect to the classes as well as their data members and functions. So what exactly is meant by using a particular class which is related in another package that we had seen in the last video. Now that this program, what this is doing is that I'm defining a package P2 and I'm trying to import all the classes of package P1. Now in this program, if I need any class to be used which is present in P1 package, we know that there is a class that is one.class that is present in P1 folder. Let us first inspect. Now if I just see that there are two folders under this Java proc, there is a folder that is P1, so you may just check what is there in P1. So you will see that there is a one.class file that is present. So I can import this one.class which is present in P1 here in this program while we will be creating this class 2 while we are present in package P2. So how the role of public, private and protected sees. So let me show you one of the experiments. Like if I try to use one.class here in this program and try to create an object, you will understand what I'm trying to say. So if you try to create an object of class 1 right here and make use of it, you will see what happens. Now where is this one class? One class is not the class that is present in package P2. It is in P1. So because I have already imported this package, so this must be available here. So let us see what happens when I run this program. Let's compile this program. It is saying one is not public in P1. Cannot be accessed from outside package. So that means if you try to import a class from another package, that class must be defined as public. Otherwise that class cannot be imported. This is one of the rules you must always remember. A public class can only be imported from another package. So this is one of the ways I can make a class of public. So I'll show you a different flavors of public, private and protected. So let us first understand the role of each. Now these are called as access modifiers. Now I am telling you the role of public with respect to first a class. What is meant by a public class? A public class is a class which is available to all the packages. Which is available to all packages. So that means I just showed you through the experiments that if a class is public and is present in a particular package, you may use that particular class in another packages. So this is the only thing once we meet the requirement of a class which is meant to be public. Another requirement of a public class is that anytime if a class is made as public, your program name should be the name of that particular class. It should be equal to the class name, which is public. So this is the rule that we always use while we are making a class public or not. So in case you are said like when should we make a particular class as public? Only when we want that class to be available in other packages. And to make a class public, we must make the program name as the class name. And another rule with the public is that inside one program can have only one public class. If you want to create multiple public classes, you will have to create them in different programs. So this is what is meant by a public class. So let us see the role of public with respect to the data members and the member functions. So there are public, private, and protected. These are three access modifiers that we have already learned in C++. Now in Java, there is another access modifier which we actually don't use, that is called as a default access modifier. Like here, I have not used any identifier here to represent my data member as public, private, or protected. Only the main function which I have used is that has been used as public. Otherwise, if I make use of any other variable here in this particular class, so that is thought to be like a default access modifier. So what is meant by a default modifier? First, let us see this. So if I declare this default modifier, whether a function or whether a method, so a default data member is actually called as a public within the package. Public within the package. Now if I write any variable here, declare any variable here in this particular class, so that variable actually will be visible to all the classes which are there inside this same package. So if I declare any class in P2 package, so that class can access this class 2 and its default member, right? Like for example, let me show you with an experiment. So if I declare a variable here like x, so if this x is declared, so this is called as a data member of class 2. So class 2 has a data member named as x. So what is access modifier? I have not specified, so it is a default modifier. So can I now write system.out.println? Can I access x? How can I access x? So because x is a non-static data member, it can be accessed with respect to the object of 2. So we'll have to create an object of 2 first. So let us create 2 ob is equal to new 2. So here what you can do is you can write ob.x. So if you are able to do it, then we'll be saying that yes, it is valid. Now let us compile this program to say it is done, and let us run it. How do you run this program now? Now this one dot class that has been created, actually this is two dot class. Now where it is present within P2 package. So in order to actually now name this 2 class, you will have to qualify it with respect to the package. You will actually have to write java p2.2. You run it and you get the output. Now you have got the output like 0. So why you have got the reach to this ob.x, because x is default modifier. So this can be done in any other package. You know, if you create any other class, like for example, I create, let's create this, copy this whole class and place it right here and name this class as 3, and that class does what? That class 3 uses class 2 first and tries to access the data member of class 2. So whether it is done. So let us check it. Save this program, go to the command prompt and run it. Let's compile this program, and now when you run it, java p2.2, so this first fragment will be executed, but this way you can actually access the 3 class 2. So once you say java p2.3, now this is also doing it. So your class 3 is also getting interpreted and class 2 is also getting interpreted, and class 3 is using class 2 because both the classes are present here in P2 package. Let's inspect this P2 package. So there are 2 classes present in P2 package, and both classes are able to access the data members of each other class because they are present in the same package. So that is the definition of this default. Now come to your public. What is public? Public is very simple to understand because it is public. Public means it is accessible anywhere. Is accessible anywhere. Anywhere means accessible in all packages. It is not confined to the same package, as the default access modifier says that it is public within the current package. It is basically your current package in which the classes are. But public variables, they are accessible in all packages. So suppose what I do is, if I make this variable here in this program, let us create this int variable as public. Now this, what does it mean by declaring this variable as public? Now that this x variable can be accessed in all other classes of other packages too, right? Like it is not confined to the same package. Like 3 was able to access 2 because they were both of them, they are belonging to package P2. Any class that is present in any other package that can also access this P2. But for that, to access this x, that class will have to access this class too. So before you make this variable public, you will have to make this class public. So your class 2 should be public first, so that this could be accessible like this. This class 3 is able to use it because it was in the same package. But if you try to do it in another package, you will have to make it public. So the class 2 will be made public first, then its data member will be made public first, so that this data member is actually visible. Now let us come to the private. Private says that it is accessible only within the same class. Accessible in the same class only. Not outside of the same package, not inside of the package only. It is only accessible within the class. That means this x, if I make it private, now that this cannot be done, right? So this, let us check it. Let us first make this right now as private. So we are doing this experiment. We will also able to understand, even if the class is public, its data member is private. So with this x is able to be accessed within class 3 or not. Let us just save it and run this program. Now it is saying, it is already saying that class 2 is public, should be declared in the file named as 2.java, because I said it, if the class is public, it should be saved in class 2. Let us name this class right now. Let us change the name of this program. It is right now 2.java. Now go to the command prompt and try to save it. Now how do you compile it? You actually compile it like the same, 2.java. Once you do it, it gives you now this x has a private access in 2, so that's why it is not able to be accessed in class 3. So this actually proves the statement that private variables, even if they are declared within the public class, they cannot be accessed in class 3 or in any other class. So private variables are only accessible within the same class. So what is meant by protected right now? The last one. Protected variables are having two ways. Protected variables are called as, first, they are accessible, they are default. First thing first is they are default. Default means they are accessible within the package, accessible within the same package. and also plus. So it is somewhat default plus added accessibility. Added as it is accessible in the subclasses. In the subclass we'll understand once we understand inheritance. It will be accessible in the subclass of other packages also. So this is the added accessibility that has been added to protected. So protected is always public within the same package, plus it is also visible in the subclass of other packages. Not all the classes of other packages, but only in the subclass. So that actually completes the definition of public, private, protected. So hope you have all understood. So let us meet in the next video to understand the further concepts.